My wife mocked me to her friends, saying, "He's awful in bed," but it backfired when her best friend laughed and said, "Actually, he's amazing." Subreddit. My wife turned our little anniversary dinner into a roast of me and our sex life. By the end of the night, she was the one exposed in front of everyone. Grab some popcorn and enjoy the chaos. Everything exploded on a Friday night. At our anniversary dinner at our place that Kara insisted on hosting because she wanted to show off for her friends. 5 couples crammed in our dining room, expensive refreshments flowing, everyone pretending to care about each other's boring lives. I, 34 male, was sitting there next to my wife Kara, 32 female, of 4 years, halfway through my second glass of soda, because I wanted to stay sharp, when somebody asks how we keep the spark alive after all this time. Kara laughs. That overly loud laugh where she thinks she's being charming, but she's really just obnoxious. Spark? With Reed? She gestures at me with her glass, nearly spilling it. Let me tell you about our love life. I can feel it coming. That thing she does when she's had too much to drink and wants attention. Reed's idea of foreplay is asking if I'm ready yet. The table laughs. And I'm talking like 30 seconds of asking. Then it's just mechanical. Like he's following IKEA instructions or something. More laughs. I take a sip of soda. Seriously, though, she continues, getting louder. It's the same routine. Same everything. I could set a timer. 2 minutes of kissing, if I'm lucky. Then straight to business for exactly, and I mean exactly, 4.5 minutes. She makes a little gesture with her hands. Then he's done and asking if I want to watch TV. Her friend Monica is laughing so hard she's crying. The guys are uncomfortable laughing. That thing where you don't know if you should join in or defend the guy getting roasted. I sit there, stone-faced. Don't say a word. Let her keep digging. Every word out of her mouth is another nail in the coffin she doesn't even know she's building. The worst part? Kara leans in like she's sharing a secret, but she's still talking loud enough for everyone at the table to hear clearly. He thinks he's good, like genuinely believes he's doing something for me. Bless his heart. That's when her best friend Sloane, sitting across from us, puts down her glass. That's funny, Sloane says, completely casual. Because Reed's actually incredible in bed. The table goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone's staring. Kara's face goes from tipsy amused to confused to absolutely furious in about 2 seconds. Excuse me? Kara's voice is ice. Sloane shrugs, takes a sip of her drink. Just saying. From personal experience. He's definitely not following any IKEA instructions. I still don't say anything. Just take another drink of soda and watch my wife's brain trying to process what just happened. This is better than I could have scripted it. The rest of the table is frozen. Monica's mouth is literally hanging open. One of the husbands coughs awkwardly. Kara's staring at Sloane like she's about to launch across the table. Then at me. Then back at Sloane. You're joking, Kara says. Nope. Sloane smiles slightly. Sorry to contradict your story, but facts are facts. Okay. Stop. Before you think I'm some cheating piece of garbage, let me back up and explain what actually happened. Because that dinner? That was the end game. The final move. And it was beautiful. But to understand it, you need to know how we got there. Kara and I got married 4 years ago. Dated for 2 years before that. In the beginning, things were good. She was ambitious, driven, funny. I liked that she knew what she wanted. I was 28, running logistics operations for a mid-sized manufacturing company. Solid 6 figures, good benefits. She was 26, grinding at a consulting firm, making decent money but nothing crazy. Over the years, something shifted. She got promoted twice, started pulling in maybe $15,000 more than her starting salary, and suddenly acted like she was the breadwinner. Like I wasn't her partner anymore. I was her assistant, my errand boy, the guy who handled the boring parts of life while she focused on her career and her friends and whatever else mattered to her that week. I did the grocery shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, planned our social calendar around her schedule, showed up to her work events and smiled while she networked, and I stood there like a decoration. And yeah, our love life sucked, but not because I wasn't trying, because she treated it like another chore on her list. Get it done, move on, back to what's important. 3 weeks ago, that changed. Kara left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. It buzzed. I glanced at it, wasn't snooping or anything, just saw the notification. Text from Jared, work, that said, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Wear that black thing again." Jared, her coworker she'd mentioned a few times. The guy she'd been staying late to work with on that big project. I picked up the phone, opened the messages. 6 months of texts, pictures, plans, hotel reservations, everything. But what got me wasn't just the cheating. It was what she said about me. Jared, when are you going to leave him? Kara, I don't know. He's useful. Does everything around the house, doesn't complain. It's like having a really obedient roommate who pays half the bills. Jared, doesn't sound like much of a husband. Kara, he's not. He's boring as heck. I swear to God, Jared, the man has the personality of a wet towel. And don't even get me started on the bedroom situation. I have to fake everything, or he'd be even more pathetic. Jared, dang. Kara, yeah, you're a real man. He's just, I don't know, a placeholder, I guess. Until I figure out what I actually want long term. There were more. Dozens more. Her making fun of my job, my hobbies, my clothes. Calling me predictable, safe, boring. He's so easy to manipulate, it's almost sad. I tell him I need him to do something, and he just does it. No pushback, no argument. It's like being married to a golden retriever. I settled for him because he was stable. That's literally it. He was there, he was safe, and I thought that's what I wanted. Turns out I wanted someone who actually has a spine. The sex is genuinely awful. Like I have to think about literally anything else, or I die of boredom. Last time I mentally reorganized my closet while he was going at it. I read every message, took screenshots of everything, sent them to myself, deleted the sent messages from her phone. Then I got up, made breakfast, and acted like nothing happened. The next Monday, I called a lawyer during my lunch break, set up a consultation for Wednesday, started gathering every financial document we had, bank statements, mortgage papers, investment accounts, everything. Turns out most of our assets were in my name. The house was mine before we got married. The car I drove was paid off, titled to me. Our joint account had maybe $8,000 in it. Everything else was separate. The lawyer said I was in a good position. No kids, clear evidence of adultery, most assets protected. We could move fast if I wanted. I wanted. We spent 2 weeks getting everything ready, filed the paperwork but didn't serve her yet, secured the bank accounts, changed passwords on everything, made copies of everything important. Kara had no idea. Came home every day, complained about work, ate the dinner I made, went to bed. Meanwhile, I was systematically dismantling our marriage, and she was too busy texting Jared to notice. The Sloan thing? Sloan and Kara have been friends since college, but it's that competitive female friendship where they're constantly trying to one-up each other. Kara got the better job, Sloan got the hotter boyfriend. Kara got married first. Sloan threw a bigger engagement party. Back and forth for years. About a year ago, Kara stole a client from Sloan. They worked at competing firms, and Kara poached this huge account right before Sloan was about to close it. Cost Sloan a promotion and a 6-figure commission. Sloan has hated her ever since. Smiled to her face, plotted behind her back. She called me 2 weeks ago on a Thursday morning. Not texted. Called. That's how I knew something was up. "Can you meet me?" she asked. Her voice had this edge to it. Like, right now. We met at a diner 2 blocks from my office. She was already in a booth when I got there. Coffee untouched, looking like she was sitting on a bomb. "You're gonna want to sit down for this," she said. I sat. She pulled out her phone, started scrolling, then stopped and looked at me dead in the eye. "I ran into Melissa yesterday. You remember her? From Kara's old job?" "Yeah. She still talks to some people at the firm, including Kara." Sloan leaned forward. "She told me something about Kara and that guy, the one she's been seeing." I kept my face blank. "Go on." "So you know." It wasn't a question. Sloan studied me for a second, then nodded. "How long?" "Couple weeks. Found texts on her phone." "And you didn't say anything?" "Been watching, gathering information." I met her eyes. "What did Melissa tell you?" Sloan's expression hardened. "That everyone at the firm knows. They've been laughing about it for months. Acting like it's some romantic thing." She paused. "But that's not why I called you." I waited. "Melissa overheard Kara on the phone 2 weeks ago, in the parking garage, talking to a divorce attorney. Now that got my attention." "She's filing?" "Not yet. She's waiting." Sloan slid her phone across the table, showed me notes Melissa had sent her. "She wants you to take that director promotion first, the one with the massive pay increase. Then she's filing. Maximize what she gets in the settlement." Everything went cold and clear at the same time. The sudden interest in my career, the way she kept asking about the compensation package, how excited she got when I mentioned the equity options, the timeline of her pushing me to accept before year-end. She wasn't being supportive. She was setting up the score. "When exactly did she call the lawyer?" I asked. 2 Tuesdays ago. Morning. Melissa was getting something from her car and heard the whole thing. Sloan's jaw was tight. Kara told the lawyer to have everything ready, but not to file until she gives the word. Said she needed a few more weeks to lock things down. Lock things down? Like I was a bank account she was cracking. Melissa also said the affair's been going on since May. Hotel on Wednesdays. Sometimes Friday lunches that turn into afternoon disappearances. Sloan looked disgusted. Everyone at that firm knows. They joke about it at happy hours. I nodded slowly. Let the rage settle somewhere cold and useful. I'd suspected the affair had been longer than the text showed. Now I knew for sure. And the divorce plan explained everything that hadn't made sense the past month. Thank you, I said, for telling me. What are you going to do? I looked at Sloan. Really looked at her. She'd driven across town to warn me. Could have stayed out of it. Could have let me walk into the trap blind. But she didn't. Even after Kara spent years freezing her out and turning their mutual friends against her. I'm going to burn it all down, I said. And I need your help. Sloan smiled, sharp and mean. What do you need? Kara came home that night around 7. Humming. Actually humming. Hair still wet from a shower I knew darn well wasn't at the gym. Hey babe, she said, all smiles. Kissed my cheek like nothing was wrong. How was your day? Good, I said. Productive. That's great. She dropped her bag on the counter. Started talking about some meeting she definitely didn't have. I watched her lie to my face with the kind of ease that only comes from practice. When she finally stopped talking, I stood up. Walked over to her. She looked surprised when I pulled her close. What's this for? She asked. Just felt like it, I said. What happened next wasn't about love. It was about taking back something she thought she could trade away and still keep. Every moment was calculated, deliberate. I watched her face the whole time, memorizing every expression, every second she forgot to feel guilty. When she fell asleep after, wrapped up in sheets and satisfaction, I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Sloan, about Melissa, about all the people at that firm who knew my wife was stepping out on me and thought it was entertaining. I thought about the divorce papers she had ready to go, the lawyer, the plan to wait until my promotion came through so she could maximize the payout. She wanted to play the long game. Fine, so would I. So, Friday morning, Kara was in the best mood I'd seen in months, singing in the shower, picking out her outfit for dinner like it actually mattered. I'm so excited for tonight, she said. Finally introducing you to everyone. Yeah, I said. Should be interesting. She had no idea that Sloan had already texted me 3 times that morning, that I'd sent her screenshots of the messages where Kara called her pathetic, washed up, jealous, that Sloan had seen the timeline, the hotel, the lawyer. Sloan didn't just want to help anymore. She wanted blood. Kara kissed me goodbye, told me she loved me. I watched her walk out the door, still humming, still playing the role. I spent the day getting my plan in order, signed the lease on a new apartment, scheduled movers for Saturday, pulled half the joint savings and moved it to an account in just my name, changed every password, backed up every file, packed a bag, and put it in my trunk. I called my boss, turned down the promotion. Turned down. Told him I needed some time to think about my next steps. He was confused, but understanding. Kara would file those divorce papers expecting a big payday. She was going to get pennies instead. By the time I got dressed for dinner that night, I was already gone. Financially, emotionally. Legally, I'd be out by Sunday. She just didn't know it yet, and the look on her face when she found out was going to be priceless. Now, coming back to the dinner. The silence lasted maybe 3 seconds before Kara exploded. What? She stood up so fast her chair scraped across the floor. What did you just say? Sloan stayed calm. Took another sip of her drink like she'd just commented on the weather. I said Reed's great in bed. Thought you should know since you were sharing inaccurate information with the group. Kara's face went from red to purple. You're lying. You're a jealous, pathetic liar, and you've always... June 14th, Sloan said, while you were at that conference in Miami. Your bed, actually. The one with the gray sheets you're so proud of. I watched Kara's brain short-circuit in real time. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. She turned to me, eyes wild. Reed, tell me she's lying. I shrugged. Took a drink of soda. She's not. The table erupted. Monica gasped. One of the guys said, holy heck, under his breath. Somebody's glass tipped over and nobody moved to clean it up. Kara was shaking. You cheated on me? Yep. I leaned back in my chair. Same week you were in Miami with Jared from work. How is Jared, by the way? Still sending you those cute good morning texts? Her face went white, then red again, then white. It was like watching a broken traffic light. How did you... Your phone! I pulled out my own phone, opened the screenshots. You left it on the counter 3 weeks ago. I read everything. 6 months of everything. Hotels, pictures. You calling me a placeholder. A golden retriever. saying my personality is like a wet towel. I scrolled through. Oh, here's a good one. You told him you were mentally reorganizing your closet during sex because I was so boring. Kara grabbed for my phone. I pulled it back. Also found out about your divorce lawyer, I continued. The one you hired 2 weeks ago. The plan to wait until I took that promotion so you could maximize what you got in the settlement. I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Smart plan. Would have worked too if Melissa hadn't overheard you in the parking garage. Monica stood up. I think we should go. Yeah, one of the husbands said, already grabbing his jacket. This feels really private. They scattered like roaches when the lights come on. Chairs scraping, awkward goodbyes, nobody making eye contact. The whole apartment cleared out in under 2 minutes. Except Sloane. She stayed in her seat, glass in hand, watching the show. Kara waited until the door closed. Then she turned on me like a cornered animal. You have no right after what you just admitted. You slept with my best friend. Former best friend, Sloane corrected from the table. And you had no problem sleeping with Jared for 6 months, I said. While I cooked your dinners and did your laundry and showed up to your work events like a trained dog, while you told him I was useful, a placeholder, a roommate who pays bills. That's different. How? She sputtered. Actually sputtered. Because I was going to leave you anyway. I was planning to rob me blind after my promotion came through. Yeah, I know. I stood up. But here's the thing, Kara. I turned down the promotion yesterday. Her face did something I'd never seen before. Complete and total system failure. You what? Turned it down. Told my boss I needed time to think about my career path. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed a folder from the drawer, came back and dropped it on the table. Divorce papers. Already filed. Already served, actually. You'll get the official notice Monday, but I figured why wait. She grabbed the folder, hands shaking, flipped through the pages. You're taking the house, the car, everything. Everything that's mine, yeah. The house was mine before we got married. Car's titled to me. Joint accounts already split. You get half of that, about $4,000. Everything else was separate. I sat back down. You'll get exactly what you brought into this marriage, which is basically nothing. Kara looked up from the papers, eyes filled with tears. The manipulative kind she used when she wanted something. Read, baby, we can fix this. I made mistakes, I know, but stop. We can go to counseling, work through this. I love you. You don't. I said it flat. Simple. You loved what I did for you. The free labor, the emotional support, the stability. But you don't love me. You said it yourself. I'm boring. Predictable. A placeholder. I didn't mean... Yeah, you did. I stood up again. And honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm done. You need to leave. She stared at me. This is my house too. It's my house. My name on the deed. And I want you out. Tonight. You can't just kick me out. Actually, I can. Talk to my lawyer about it. Since it's my property and we're legally separated as of this afternoon, I can ask you to leave. You've got family 20 minutes away. Go stay with your mom. Kara's face twisted into something ugly. You're really doing this? After one mistake? 6 months isn't one mistake. It's a lifestyle choice. I pointed to the door. Get your stuff and go. That's when she lunged at Sloane. I'm not kidding. Full-on psycho lunge across the dining room, hands out like claws, screaming something incoherent about backstabbing and betrayal. I caught her halfway, grabbed her arms and held her back while she thrashed. Let me go! That witch ruined my marriage. You ruined your marriage, I said. Kept my voice level even though she was trying to kick me. Sloane just told the truth. Kara twisted in my grip, got one arm free and swung at Sloane. Missed by a mile. Sloane didn't even flinch. You planned this, Kara screamed at her. You two planned this whole thing to humiliate me. Actually, Sloane said, still calm, I just answered a question honestly. The humiliation was all you. Kara screamed again. Wordless rage. I'd never seen her like this. The mask was completely off now. This was who she really was under all the fake charm. I walked her to the door. She fought the whole way, yelling about lawyers and revenge, and how I'd regret this. I opened the door with one hand, still holding her with the other, and basically shoved her into the hallway. Go, I said. Now. This isn't over, Reed. You hear me? This isn't... I closed the door in her face, locked it, leaned against it for a second while she pounded on the other side, screaming. Then silence. Footsteps down the hall. The elevator ding. Gone. I turned around. Sloane was still at the table, looking way too comfortable. You should probably go too, I said. She raised an eyebrow. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. After I helped you? After I gave you the information you needed? And I appreciate it. Really. I walked over, started clearing glasses. But we both know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you hate Kara. Sloane stood up, smoothed her dress. Can it be both? Sure, but either way you need to leave. She stepped closer. Did that thing women do when they think they're being seductive? Hand on my arm, head tilted, little smile playing at the corner of her mouth. We could have fun, you know, just the two of us. Her fingers traced down my forearm. No drama, no ex-girlfriends, just us. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. She actually thought this was going somewhere. Thought because she'd shown up tonight and helped expose Kara that we had some kind of connection now. Sloane, I'm not interested. Her smile faltered. Come on, don't pretend you haven't thought about it. I haven't. Liar. She moved closer, pressed against me. We both know there's something here. I stepped back, put the glasses down on the counter. There's nothing here. You came here tonight because you wanted to watch Kara burn. Mission accomplished. Now it's time to go. Oh, please. She laughed, but there was an edge to it. You're seriously going to act like you didn't enjoy having me here? Like you didn't love watching her face when I backed up your story? I did. Doesn't mean I want you to stay. Her expression shifted. Less flirty, more calculating. You know what? Forget subtle. She moved in again, hands sliding up my chest. Let me stay. We can celebrate properly. I grabbed her wrist. Not rough, but firm. No. Why not? She's gone. You won. We won. We didn't win anything together. You showed up uninvited, stirred the pot because you got off on it, and now you think that means something. I released her wrist, stepped away. It doesn't. She stared at me for a moment, eyes hard. Then something shifted in her expression, embarrassment mixed with anger. The kind of look someone gets when they realize they completely misread the situation. Wow, you're actually serious. Dead serious. You know what? You're just like her. Using people when it's convenient, then tossing them aside. Maybe. But at least I'm honest about it. I walked to the door, opened it. Thanks for showing up tonight. It worked out perfectly. But this is where it ends. She grabbed her purse, movements sharp and angry now. Walked to the door, paused right in front of me. You're going to regret this. Doubt it. I met her eyes. You came here to feel powerful by destroying your former best friend. You got what you wanted. So did I. Now we're done. She left without another word. I closed the door, locked it, stood in my empty apartment surrounded by half-empty glasses and ruined dinner plates, and smiled. First time in months I'd actually smiled and meant it. The next 3 days were chaos. Kara blew up my phone. Texts, calls, voicemails. Started out angry, turned desperate, cycled back to angry. I blocked her Saturday morning. She showed up at the apartment Sunday, pounded on the door for 20 minutes while I sat inside watching football with noise-canceling headphones. Building security eventually escorted her out. Monday morning, I got an email from her lawyer. Standard aggressive nonsense. My lawyer responded with the evidence of adultery and the prenup clause she'd apparently forgotten about. Radio silence after that. I went back to work that week, acted normal, did my job. Nobody knew anything yet, which was fine by me. Then Tuesday of the following week, I got a call from Jason, one of the guys who'd been at the dinner. Dude, he said, you hear about Kara? What about her? She got fired, like escorted out of the building yesterday. I sat up straighter. What? Yeah, don't know all the details, but word is HR got some kind of anonymous tip. Something about her breaking company policy. I didn't say anything for a second. You think it's related to... Jason trailed off. Probably, I said. I thanked him and hung up. Sat there staring at my phone. Someone had sent HR evidence of the affair, and I had a pretty good idea who. Sloane. She called me the day after Kara got fired. Couldn't wait to tell me what she'd done. I sent everything to her HR department, she said, sounding way too proud of herself. Dates, screenshots, hotel receipts, all of it. They fired her on the spot. Jared, too. There was a pause, like she was waiting for me to thank her or something. I thought you deserved some justice, she continued when I didn't respond. After everything she put you through. We make a good team, don't we? We. Like this was some kind of partnership now. Turns out Kara used to brag to Sloane about everything. Back when they were still friends, before the dinner. Sloane told me Kara had shown her screenshots, hotel photos, the whole thing. Thought it was exciting. Thought Sloane would be impressed. Sloane kept copies of everything, just in case. Then Kara ran her mouth at that dinner. Called Sloane a waste of space. Tried to humiliate her in front of everyone. Bad move. Sloane waited a week. then sent everything to Kara's HR department. I laughed. Couldn't help it. The whole thing was ridiculous. She actually thought this made us allies or something. Yeah, okay, we're done here, Sloan. Wait, what? Reed, I hung up, blocked her number, and moved on. Company policy says employees can't date, especially not in the same reporting chain. Kara and Jared were both gone within 24 hours. I didn't find out the full story until later, but it got better. 2 weeks after the HR thing, Jason called again. Dude, you're not going to believe this. What now? That guy Kara was seeing? Somebody told his wife. I almost laughed. Seriously? Yeah. Apparently, she got an anonymous email with everything. Photos, messages, hotel records. She lost it. Posted the whole thing on Facebook. When? Last night. It's everywhere now. His family's blowing up the comments. People from his work are sharing it. Guys getting destroyed. I sat there taking that in. Sloan didn't just go after Kara. She went after both of them. The Facebook post stayed up for 3 days before the guy's wife took it down. By then it didn't matter. Everyone had already seen it. Screenshots were floating around. His parents stopped talking to him. His wife filed for divorce. Meanwhile, Kara was scrambling to find a new job. Good luck with that when your former employer fired you for an affair and half your professional network saw the fallout. By the end of the second month, the dust had mostly settled. Divorce was moving forward. Kara's career was toast. Her affair partner's marriage was done. His reputation was trashed. Then came Wednesday. I was home around 6, heating up leftover pizza, when someone started banging on my door. Not knocking, banging. The kind of aggressive pounding that says someone's having a really bad day and wants to share it with you. I looked through the peephole. Kara was there, and Sloan, together, both yelling at each other in my hallway. This was gonna be good. I opened the door and immediately regretted not grabbing popcorn first. You ruined my life, Kara screamed before I could say anything. You got me fired! You destroyed everything! I didn't get you fired, I said calmly. You got yourself fired by sleeping with a coworker for 6 months. HR just connected the dots. You sent those emails to them! Actually, I didn't. I looked at Sloan. She did. Sloan's face went red. You told her? Didn't have to. Basic logic. I leaned against the doorframe. So what brings you both to my doorstep? Starting a support group for women I'm done with? That's when they turned on each other. This is your fault! Kara shoved Sloan hard. You couldn't just stay out of it. My fault, Sloan shoved back. You're the one who cheated on your husband and bragged about it to anyone who'd listen. You slept with him. After you'd already been cheating for 6 months? They were in each other's faces now. I stepped back into my apartment, leaned against the wall, and watched. This was better than anything on TV. You've always been jealous of me, Kara hissed. Always wanted what I had. My life, my job, my husband. I don't want your leftovers, Sloan shot back. I just wanted to watch you fall. You're pathetic. You've always been pathetic. That's why you can't keep a man. They all leave you. Wrong thing to say. Sloan's fist came up fast, connected with Kara's mouth, with a sound like a branch snapping. Kara stumbled back against the hallway wall, hand to her face. When she pulled it away, there was blood on her fingers, and her bottom lip was already swelling. You chipped my tooth! Kara's voice had developed a lisp. Definite lisp. You chipped my freaking tooth! I lost it. Couldn't help it. Started laughing so hard I had to hold onto the doorframe to stay upright. Both of them turned to stare at me like I'd grown a second head. You think this is funny? Kara demanded. Blood on her lip, hair everywhere, mascara running down her cheeks. She looked like a raccoon who'd lost a fight with a lawnmower. Honestly? I wiped my eyes. Funniest thing I've seen all year. Maybe ever. Then something shifted in Kara's face. The anger melted into desperation. She turned toward me, hands out like she was begging. Please, she said, the lisp making it sound ridiculous. Please, we can fix this. I made a mistake. I want you back. I just stared at her. You're kidding, right? I'm serious. Tears were streaming now. Real ones, I think. I messed up. I know I did. But we can work through this. We can go to counseling or something. I'll do whatever it takes. You want me back? I started laughing again. Kara, you got fired for screwing around at work? You're about to lose your house? And you just got punched in the face by your former best friend. At what point in this disaster did you think, yeah, he's definitely going to want to rebuild this dumpster fire? But I love you. The lisp was getting worse as her lips swelled. I never stopped loving you. You loved me so much you were planning to leave me for Jared. After taking half my money. Sloan had been quiet, But now she stepped forward. He doesn't need you anymore, Kara. He needs someone who actually appreciates him. Oh no. Here we go. Someone like you? I said flatly. Yes. Sloane moved closer to me. Like me. We have chemistry. You felt it. I know you did. Chemistry? I laughed. Sloane, you slept with me to get revenge on your friend. That's not chemistry. That's spite with benefits. It was more than that, and you know it. She touched my arm. I stepped back. I could make you happy. I deserve you more than she ever did. This was unreal. Both of them were standing in my hallway, one with a busted lip and a lisp, the other with a scratch across her cheek, both trying to convince me to choose them. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. Kara, you cheated on me, lied to me, used me for rent money and emotional support while planning to leave me. And now you want me back, because your life fell apart. Yes, Kara said miserably. And Sloane, you pretended to be my friend, slept with me specifically to hurt Kara, reported her to HR, and now think you deserve a relationship with me. When you put it that way, it sounds bad, Sloane said. That's because it is bad. I threw my hands up. You're both delusional. Certifiably delusional. I'm not getting back together with either of you. I wouldn't date either of you if you were the last two women on Earth, and the human race depended on it. But, Kara started. No buts, no excuses, no second chances. I pointed down the hallway. I'm done with both of you, forever. Get out of my building. That's when Kara grabbed Sloane's hair. Sloane screamed and grabbed back. They went down in a tangle of limbs and designer clothes, rolling around on my hallway carpet like they were fighting over the last slice of pizza. I watched for maybe 10 seconds, documenting this absolute masterpiece of chaos in my memory. Then I pulled out my phone. All right, that's enough. I held up the phone. I'm calling the cops. You've got 5 seconds to get out of my building, or I'm pressing charges for assault, trespassing, and disturbing my leftover pizza. They untangled themselves, both breathing hard. Kara's lip was balloon status now. Sloane had a scratch across her cheek, and her blouse was torn. This isn't over, Kara said, still trying to sound threatening with that lisp. Yeah, it is. I pointed down the hall. Get out, both of you. I don't want to see either of you again. Ever. Sloane stood up first. Tried to smooth her hair and look dignified. Failed completely. You'll regret this. Doubt it. She walked to the elevator without looking back, limping slightly. Probably twisted her ankle during the scuffle. Kara took longer. Kept staring at me like she was waiting for something. Apology, maybe? Reconciliation? Some sign that this wasn't real, that I'd crack and take her back like I always did before. I gave her nothing. Just stood there with my arms crossed, completely unmoved. Finally, she left too, one hand on her mouth, the other wiping her eyes. I closed the door, locked it, added the chain for good measure. Then I walked back to my pizza, reheated it in the microwave, and replayed the whole scene in my head. You chipped my freaking tooth. I was still laughing when the microwave dinged. Best Wednesday ever. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.